Welcome to Grace Guides Podcast. Our goal is to provide practical, evidence-based knowledge to bring peace to your family system. All prior episodes can be accessed by subscribing on Spotify, Anchor, and other podcast services. Visit graceguides.com and join our monthly newsletter mailing list. The following discussion is for informational purposes only and is not meant to diagnose or treat any mental health condition. Please visit with your own mental health provider for case-specific help. Thank you and enjoy.
Hey everyone, it's Angela with Grace Guides.
And Sarah.
And today's topic is a good one. Something
yeah, here we go.
that maybe everybody can relate to. And that is,
it's getting real. Guilt.
and when Grace Guides talks about guilt, what do we mean?
We mean more doing things out of guilt.
Yes, and looking at our own behavior and what behaviors we engage in that are motivated either by feelings of guilt or by wanting to avoid feeling guilt. So that's an important distinction in that we're not talking about just, oh, I didn't do such and such, I feel guilty. Or
I worked out, I shouldn't have eaten pizza. Now I feel guilty.
yeah, not that. That's not what we're talking about here. That's a separate conversation. We're talking about, again, family systems and how guilt can play a role, and typically not a healthy role. So families can often unintentionally impose guilt on one another. Family members can impose guilt on one another, right? Does that statement make sense?
Oh, for sure. Like I'm already got a list going here.
And we know, certainly as parents, that we can fall into that, using guilt, again, often indirectly, but in a way that isn't healthy and with an eye towards getting what we want out of somebody else's behavior. Right? We are capable of doing that sometimes as parents.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Yeah. We make them feel I'm really good at it. let me just put that out there. And I don't know if it's like the deep roots or the educator in me or the coach in me or what it is, but I still struggle as a parent to not throw the guilt flag out.
I think certain personalities are more inclined to it. Like, if we could probably have a whole discussion about which Enneagram types are more prone to acting from a place of guilt.
Which would make complete sense.
Yes, for sure.
As far as my Enneagram type and some of the high points of my type, and that fits right in there.
Yeah, and like all things, I think it's very important to emphasize that guilt is it's a balancing act, okay? Because my tendency, and I've already shared I'm an Enneagram 1, my tendency can be so opposite to that it's also unhealthy. And so what I mean there is not only do I not act or make decisions or engage in behaviors from a place of guilt, I refuse. Like when I'm not aware, I can be really stubborn and stuck in somebody asked me to do something, somebody wants me to do something. I don't like being told what to do as an Enneagram 1, and so I'm not going to do it. That's not good for relationships either. So hopefully we're illustrating those two extremes and giving examples of what not to do.
Yes, because I am an Enneagram 6, and one of our biggest traits, good and bad, is we're warriors, we're planners, we're actually my positive intelligence pleaser just came into mind. But that's how I'm wired. I'm wired to be prepared for everything and make sure that everyone is happy and safe along the way. And sometimes that means putting myself second, third, fourth down the line, and almost even like sabotaging my own well-being in the process.
Yes, because what you're saying is you're doing things not because you truly want to be doing them, but because you want to avoid the feelings of guilt that come up if you do not do them.
Yes.
So can you give us a specific example? And it doesn't like have to be recent, but where you made a decision and looking back, you know it was completely to avoid feeling guilty.
Oh yeah, I as you were talking earlier, that checklist that was going on in my head was back when I was younger. I've talked about how I'm the youngest of 12 grandchildren, and we knew when my grandparents were still living, we knew that Christmas was at my grandparents', Thanksgiving was at an aunt's, Easter was at another aunt's, Mother's Day was at another aunt's. Like, we had these things, and you went to them. And there were times, I'm not saying I didn't want to go to them, but there were times where there was something else that I would have rather done, but I felt guilt that if I didn't go where I had gone every single year, that, I don't know, the world was going to explode.
Yeah, you're touching on such a big issue for so many families because traditions run deep. In many families, culturally, we know that our Hispanic culture is even more committed to those traditions. And you and I have run into this as we've built our family. And so you're saying you would go. It wasn't that you didn't necessarily want to be there. It's that you may have chosen to be somewhere else, and that didn't happen because you felt guilty.
Yeah.
And so I credit my placement in the family of 5, but also just, I don't know how I'm wired. But I had siblings that were married by the time I was 3. And that meant that they were building their family, their nuclear family. And my parents, I'm not sure why it is that they were, they didn't pressure my siblings, to my knowledge, because we would have a Christmas gathering, but it wasn't always at the same exact time. So when I was little, Christmas Eve is when the siblings came over usually, but it wasn't always all 5 of us and partners. There was a lot of flexibility, and then as I got older and there were more grandkids, so my nephews and nieces that I'm closer in age to, keep in mind, than my siblings, it just looked different. And those families were starting their own traditions, and it got to be really complicated to try to bring a group of 25 people together on a certain date that the calendar says it's supposed to happen on, December 24th or whatever. And so we started traditions really that were very different. Like, we would just make it a priority to get together, but it would be at different times. And early December, January, some years it got missed. And that was how I grew up. I did have my mom's sisters when I was younger. You know, we would get together with them, but it was never consistent, I guess, year to year. And then, of course, I divorced my children's father, and so that that throws tradition to the wind. And you have to really allow yourself, in my view, to just be okay with what comes.
That was so hard. As she was saying that, I was thinking about all the conversations we've had as we've grown as a family. And I didn't understand it. I was like, no, Christmas is on Christmas. Easter is on Easter. Mother's Day is in May. It's not in October. Definitely not in October. And so, yeah, I do appreciate that you brought that to my awareness. And
one year, because of schedules, I remember when the kids were my kids were maybe 12 and 8. I don't remember the circumstances. I just know that that particular year, we celebrated Christmas on Arbor Day, which is like, I think in June or something. And it was really random. And I love that because to me, it's about everybody being in the moment and really wanting to be there. I tell the kids, so on that Arbor Day, it was, we made it a lot of fun, and we made it about our interaction. It was less about gifts because it's harder to find Christmas gifts around Arbor Day. But it was really meaningful, and God, life is hard enough. Do we really need to put that much pressure on ourselves to meet these certain traditions at this certain time? I'm just not a fan of that. And again, maybe it's the rebel in me, I don't know, but
and you end up like, sorry to cut you off, you end up like bending backwards to make these things happen, and then you're contorted and you're in pain.
Yeah. I love that. I don't love that you're in pain. I mean, I love that visual. Like you're forcing this moment. And sometimes you can look back at those pictures, and if those, like, it all looks like happy faces, but there's a little bit of something going on.
Oh, I can visualize one of your family pictures of you and your siblings, and you're like, oh yeah, let me tell you what really happened.
Oh yeah,
this
yeah. This is what the picture captured, but there's a backstory. And so I rather it be an authentic gathering where I can feel confident that if those that are there really want to be there, they're not there because of guilt. So I have raised Adam and Abbie to never make a decision from a place of guilt. And both of them struggle with that because both of them are wired, like we talked about at the beginning, to really just be more thoughtful, Abbie in particular, about others' feelings. She is compassionate and kind and empathetic, and she just thinks about how her actions will make other people feel. And you don't want to discourage that, right? That's a gift. But you want to make sure she knows to take care of herself in the process. And so in parenting her, did I celebrate and encourage this natural gift for caring about others? Yes. Did I also spend time reminding Abbie that she needs to do a gut check and she needs to check on herself so that she can guarantee self and others that she's doing it for reasons other than guilt? You got to find that balance of caring for others. Caring for others and caring for self. And again, like what does all that have to do with what we do at Grace Guides? A reminder that Grace Guides is built on our academic training as well as our real lived experiences. And the work that we do is to teach people the value of that balance, of not making decisions solely from a place of guilt, of running a checklist about why you're engaging in some activity. And those can be small activities like attending a family function, or it can be big activities like choosing your career, like choosing your partner, like having the big giant wedding that people have expected of you, but maybe that's not something you really want. It's about learning through coaching how to take care of self and do so without damaging other relationships. And so there's a lot of room to grow for many people there to
Yes.
stop operating from a place of guilt. That's it, Mr. Producer.